We're back.
We are back.
Hello.
Shed
Hello.
quarters.
Back in shed quarters. Oh dear.
Our special place.
Our special place with a very, very special episode.
Yes.
This is a episode to support specifically our armed forces this weekend.
Yeah.
So if you're armed forces, ex-armed forces, family or friends or whatever in armed forces, or general supporter of armed forces, keep listening because we've got some really poignant stuff coming up.
Yeah.
I'm going to be reading from a book this week.
Yeah.
We've been very kind enough to
It's
be
a
lent.
really special book.
And it's Letters Back from the Front in 1918. We'll come on to that shortly, but let's just get the intros done and get going. Hello, mate.
You all right?
Good to see you.
Good to see you,
You all
my
right?
friend. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Good. So,
keeping
yes.
okay?
Yeah. Not too bad. You?
Yeah. Not too
Normal
bad.
dramas, but yeah.
Normal dramas, but we always.
All puts into perspective when I've been reading some of the
It does,
stories
actually.
and things
Yeah.
that, we're now to talk about.
Yeah.
So, yes, a veteran special. Even though we do support all uniforms,
Yeah.
that's what Shed Quarters is about. One of the things we do support every uniform
Yeah.
that we have. It's a little bit more specific because we want to talk about veterans.
Mm.
I don't consider myself a veteran. We've argued about this. Please don't
Yeah.
go into this in any detail.
Yeah.
I served for a very short time. I did my basic training. It wasn't for me. I left. I went into Civvy Street, then joined another uniform service and did over 20 years. But I'm not a veteran. Just not even go into that.
Yeah.
However, as far as I'm aware, you are the special guest today.
Am I
Yeah,
the special guest?
you are the
The,
special
the
guest.
chosen one.
Because as far as I'm aware,
Lucky one.
lucky one. Who's put these ideas in your head?
Oh, mate.
We're going off on our nonsense again.
Yeah.
You served.
I did.
Was it the Salvation Army you were in?
Yes.
I'm sure.
I played the trumpet.
Was it? No, don't.
Oh, no.
Don't be a Walt. Triangle.
All right, I trialed for the trumpet. I was crap, and they said, "We'll give you this thing, little triangle thing with a stick." And
Yeah.
so yeah,
I've definitely seen you in the streets of Worcester, and they go "Duh," at the end of the parade. Da 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 da.
ting,
Ding.
that was me.
That was you.
That was
wasn't
me.
it?
Yeah,
I joke, and there's nothing wrong
Legend.
with the Salvation Army. They're absolutely
No,
fantastic
they are
as well.
fantastic organisation.
But you are a
Ex-soldier, yeah.
ex-soldier with some service, I believe.
Yeah, so I did, when I was about 17, joined the reserve army, and my dad, whose medal is here, that I'm showing off with pride, he's a legend. He did 17 years in the army. My dad gave me some advice. He said, before you sign up regular service, join the reserves, see what it's like. If you enjoy it and you think that's what you want to do, join the regs. So I took his advice, did about, I don't know, less than a year with the reserves, and I thought, I want to do this full time. So I joined the army, went up to Scotland, did my basic training. Then I went to do my trade training. So I was a tank mechanic, basically. Anywhere where there were tanks, that's where I would go. That then led me on to do 2 tours of Iraq, 2003, 2004. And shortly after that, I sort of sadly lost interest, but my mind wasn't in a good place at the time. So I left. I don't have any regrets whatsoever, but it was my time to move on after those 2 tours and my service.
Did you suffer from your experiences in general with your mental health at all? Not going into this isn't scripted at all. I'm just interviewing you now.
At the time, no. When you reflect on certain things that happened afterwards, you think, shit, that was quite scary. And yeah, I suppose in later years, reflecting on it, incidents, seeing things, being part of things that happened, it does have an effect on your mental health. Hence, that's why I've struggled a little bit over the years. But I'm in a good place now, thankfully.
Because the roller coaster is we talk about
Yeah,
mental health.
Yeah.
There are lots of charities in relation to veterans. mental health, aren't there? I know I was looking
got
at reading combat stress.
Combat stress is amazing.
Yeah.
They help people in so many ways. Samaritans, I mean, Samaritans is a general.
For everybody. So if you're outside struggling, then it's there.
Mind.
Yeah.
Mind is another one.
All the ones that we support, Royal British Legion.
Yeah. What's sad that this time of the year is really special to me, and lots of other veterans. But what's sad, I go through social media, and I read about.
Don't go political.
No. It's really sad that some individuals just can't cope, and they take their own lives. I know one person that's done that. And it genuinely breaks my heart. It's a really sad thing. This is why we do this, isn't it? Not just for uniform wearers, it's for everyone. If someone's so down, you can. You used the analogy the other week. What was that Jamaican one you said? I think it was.
The sun will come up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Whatever happens today, the sun's going to come up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just keep on pushing through. But you've got to seek advice. My story is completely different. It's not for me today. It's for you.
Yeah.
But you've got to turn around, Google on your phone nowadays. That's the modern way.
Yeah.
For veterans, mates, combat stress, Samaritans, whatever, and ring the number and make that jump.
Yeah.
Or you just turn around and go, I don't know how to tell you this, mate, but I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And you talk.
Yeah.
And that's why we do. This is why we do what we do. And I don't want to go, too deeply. We're not a support
we're not
service
professionals.
ourselves, nowhere near. But we've had our shit that we've been through.
We've been through shit,
and we signpost it.
That's not just career shit. That's life incidents.
Life.
I call it life incidents. Things happen in life, and it can send you down that path.
And weirdly, you can have nothing and you can be ill. It's an illness, so we continue to talk about that every week. So whatever uniform service you wear or don't wear, seek support if you need it.
Absolutely,
yes.
Yeah.
Why we
that's the message we're trying to get across
every week. Because some feedback is we've had a couple of people, and if I've had one,
that's been really nice. The fact that we've had people message us and they've been struggling, and they've said we put a smile on their face, made them laugh. That's all we're trying to do, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. I grew up. So you were in Iraq in 2003, 2004.
The invasion, and then I went back again 2004.
So you were 40 then when you were there.
46.
It's quite a long time ago.
I was 21.
Were you really?
21, yeah.
With all due respect now, 21, when you're as old as you are.
Yeah.
You look back at 21, you're just like a kid, aren't you?
Which is younger than you.
Yeah, well, only...
No, I picked up a nickname in Iraq, and for the viewers, some of my mates that watch, it was Yanto. Apparently, I looked like a Spanish young boy when I was out there because I was terribly skinny. Caught the sun, obviously got a tan out there. It's the desert, you're going to. But yeah, my nickname become Yanto. I don't even know if that's a Spanish name.
Because your nickname now to me is... I can't do that on YouTube.
No, we get banned. Yeah.
Which I call you most days. I'll tell you something, and this is across the uniform services, whatever, and some people watching this aren't going to understand this because they're going to see me ribbing you and they're going to see you having to go back at me. They won't understand the banter.
Dark humour.
The dark humour that you have. Because if you're struggling, you can help you, but it always ends with this, taking the piss, doesn't it? There's something about it that helps.
It has to be that way.
And that, you being called Yanto and me now calling you. People won't understand that, but it's all part of it, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
So we got lots of...
loads of memorabilia, loads of military stuff going on. The shed's looking mint today. I'd like to just actually... Ian's been very, very kind talking about me. I want Ian to talk about these, if you can.
So they're my grandfather's medals.
Yeah,
that's it. We don't go into specific details.
No.
But they're my grandfather's medals. And when I grew up, he had girls, and I was the first grandson, the first grandchild out of now many. And the first son. So as you can imagine, as a guy who'd served in World War II, I used to hear all these stories and all that. you know, throughout my being grown up, and when I used to go to the British Legion,
Yeah.
I would be around all these soldiers, and I grew up at the cenotaph. I grew up selling poppies with my grandmother up and down the road, literally knocking door to door.
Is that how you used to do it?
Yeah, as
I did not know that.
As did other members of my family. You could even go, you'd even knock, and you'd have a tray. She'd have a tray like that on, and it would go around her neck, and it'd be a tray, almost like an ice cream tray.
I always thought they were outside the shops. I never knew you went door to door.
Yeah, and the red poppy plastic.
The collecting tin.
You put your pennies in. So I grew up with stories of World War II. Stunning stories. I won't go into them too much now, but Grandad was in Burma, Africa, Japan, France, and quite a rarity is.
I was going to ask about that one.
That's Dunkirk. So he was at Dunkirk. He evacuated Dunkirk.
That's epic.
And the story goes, there was thousands of guys lining up, per the film nowadays, Dunkirk. You know, we've all seen that, or a lot of people have seen that. If not, watch it, it's good. He said, him and his mate said, sod that, I'm standing behind everybody else waiting to get, you know, potentially killed.
Yeah.
So they went and found some sort of old rowing boat with one oar and a hole in it, and apparently an officer commandeered it with them, and they got in, and they said they were constantly being pushed back by the waves, pushing them back.
Yeah.
And with this one-oared boat, they managed to go out round in circles, literally round in circles, out until they got to a minesweeper, got onto the minesweeper, got taken back to the UK, at which point he got on a train and came home to see Nan.
Different life back then, when it
he evacuated Dunkirk. So those are very special to me and my family, my cousins especially, and his daughters.
So after Dunkirk, he later went on to do.
Oh, he's all over.
All over.
Yeah, he fought all over various campaigns, and they're very special. I'm fortunate enough to be the custodian of those.
Yeah, they're very special,
and they will be retained. And tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to go to the cenotaph.
We are.
They will be taken alongside a photograph of him.
Yes.
And because he's no longer here to be able to take them, so as a custodian, I know that my family would like me to continue displaying those. And I almost feel that little bit of emotion.
No, mate, I feel it for my two grandparents. My grandfathers, one was a Royal Engineer, the other one was a commando on Normandy beaches, and extremely proud of both of them. They're both absolute legends. I miss them dearly.
Yeah, same. Not yours, mine, because I didn't know yours. See, it's the banter.
Yeah. I miss your granddad.
You should. You would have loved it.
I'd like to have met him, and I hope you'd like to have met mine. We're all like-minded people.
Wouldn't it be weird if they knew each other?
Yeah.
If you went back, because they would have gone to they would have definitely gone to the same memorials.
That's a really good thing. The last, I think it was it last year or the year before? Maybe 2 years ago. I think there was only a handful of like Normandy veterans left, and there was a commando that was being interviewed. Wonderful human being, and I thought when I was watching him, I wonder if you knew my granddad. Imagine that.
Yeah, but there's every possibility.
We'd never know.
Morven's a small place, and I'll tell you something, it was half the size of what it is today. And if you go down to the pub now, in fact we've done it, I've said, I went down the pub last night and I was chatting to this bloke and it was your uncle.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So there's always, who knows what the connections would have been. Yes, so definitely be taking those. Definitely, I put a fair amount of money into the collection pot at the local shop.
Yeah.
And the lady turned around and went, "Are you sure?" I went,
Yeah. They're probably just used to getting 2 pences and 10 pences.
She said, "Have what you want," and I said, "Well, I gave her a substantial amount." And they were surprised. I said, "No, that's fine. That's what it's for." I guess I grew up. I'm one of the last ones now who grew up with World War, specifically in this occasion, World War II. Which brings me on to we were very, very fortunate this week, weren't we, to randomly speak to a lady that we both know.
Yes.
Thank you, Diane.
Yeah. Huge shout out to Diane,
who has a familial connection with somebody who wrote some essays and poems and letters home, and they were put into a small book. His name was Lieutenant B. Pitt.
That book's very old.
Yeah, it's going to be around. I don't know. Let's just have a look in the front cover. You can see that it's got some age.
Can we show him?
So this appeared to have been published by in a high street in Marylebone, W, in 1917. This is when it was done.
Wow.
I'll show you a picture. Now I think that's probably the first time, and I've really we discussed this with the lady who's the custodian.
She's given us full consent to do this, by the way.
Yeah, and permission to do this because
that is probably the first time that gentleman's face has been shown
onto the. What we're doing here, and the reason we wanted to do it is because it's a fantastic memorial for the gentleman.
Yeah,
it's very in what we're doing today. This is going to keep him alive in the modern world.
Yes,
keep his memory alive. Keep his heroics alive,
and a tribute to him,
and
all of the other lads and lasses.
So Bernard Pitt, Lieutenant Border Regiment, Assistant Master Cooper's Company School, attached to the Trench Mortar Battery, killed in action, April 30th, 1916. And he wrote poems. He was clearly a very eloquent, good-looking gentleman.
He was, yeah.
Fantastic moustache.
Handsome man, yeah.
And I've just noted some of the things that and I'm going to read them out from this book. These are his words coming to life in this modern world. Right, where should we go? Here we go. And this is incredibly poignant. What is life like in the trenches? Well, muddy and cramped and filthy. Everything gets covered with mud. You can't wash, for water has to be fetched for a mile. There is no room, and if you walk upright in many of the trenches, you run grave risks. You sleep huddled together, unable to stretch. Of course, one gets greasy and smutty, and the place smells bad, as you can imagine. All day long, shells and rifle bullets go banging and whistling, and from dark to midnight, the enemy fire rifle grenades and machine guns at us. In our dugout, we can hear the bullets coming whop against the roof and against the sandbags around it. But nobody minds that. Nobody is one penny the worse. That's just a small section, you know, and that's him describing exactly what he was going through very eloquently.
The living conditions that those guys went through were just appalling. And let's remember this, you know, when I served, you did 6-month tours. They did up to, what was it, 3 or 4?
Yeah.
They stayed there for the duration. 3 or 4 years living like that.
Here's another good one, slightly funny as well.
Yeah.
January the 11th, 1916. To whomsoever these doings may interest, 108 years later, it's you guys and girls. And he would have never ever could have.
He wouldn't have even dreamt that. No.
On the morning of January 11th at 6:45, I disturbed my servant, who, with no regard for circumstances, was snoring happily on the ground, while I was freezing and sleepless on a bed of a sort, and urged on him the advisability of breakfast. He leapt into activity, and I lay on my couch and considered how I might annoy the Germans during the day. Yes, I would give them 5 rounds in the crater before lunch, and 3 rounds in the quarries after lunch. Yes, I thought, that would be best for them. Meanwhile, my orderly returned not. I knew what had happened. He had not brought water overnight and must now be marching a quarter of a mile south to get it. I swore, for a quarter of a mile in the trenches is equivalent to a mile on the road. Giving up any hope of breakfast, I arose and gloomily donned wet socks and wet boots and lamented my sad plight.
Didn't get his breakfast.
Didn't get his breakfast. Fantastic.
Was the guy okay? His person?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, going through it all. Unfortunately, he was killed in action. This is Mr. Pitt, and I believe it was written home very briefly in those days. Quite awful to have a letter like this. It simply said he was observing his fire from the front trenches, writes the Brigadier to Mrs. Pitt, and had just sent the man with him back to his mortars. when the Germans exploded a mine close to the spot, and we've been able to find a trace of him since.
Flipping out.
Di, thank you. We've just bought a tiny section of a hero's story to the modern age and a new audience, and I hope that you and your family are proud of him and the fact that we could keep his memory alive, in however small a way. We have
legend of a bloke.
Absolutely. At which point, I think what I'd like to do is thank Mr. Pitt, your granddad, my granddad, their friends, and every person that serves. And what I'm going to do, so what's the time on the clock? Is it 20 minutes 50? 54.
Nearly 21 minutes. Yeah.
So I'm going to read this out, and then at 22 minutes, Ian and I are just going to stop for 2 minutes silence. We're not going to say a word. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to ponder and remember people like Mr. Pitt, our own family members, our own friends, including those that have been lost, including those that are still serving, and take 2 minutes of time. So I'll read this out now, and when I finish, I'll give you a countdown, and then we will have 2 minutes silence. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will now do 2 minutes silence from the 22-minute mark to 24. Please join us. Thanks for that, mate.
Yeah, well done, buddy.
Cool. Right. So yeah, I reckon if we put this out, when we put this video out, if you play that at 22 minutes to 11, it would perfectly coincide with the 2 minute silence. For tomorrow. To put it on the video.
What, the start of the video?
Yeah, put it on the start of the video. You can't put it on the end, can you? So it would.
No, sorry, dyslexia kicked in then.
All right.
All right.
Why do they make that so hard to spell?
Yes. Yeah. Why do they do that?
And we're back.
No, that was lovely, mate. That was, yeah. That was nice.
So, November the 11th.
What happened on this day? I bought this book. In fact, I'll start again. My wife bought this book. On this fascinating, day. This.
Leonardo DiCaprio was born 50 years ago. 1974.
He's 50?
He will be, yeah.
Is he?
Well, he will be on November the 11th. Willis.
So he's not as old as you then?
Why do you have to do this every fucking week?
I'm joking.
1940, the Willis Overland Company launched its first new general-purpose vehicle called the Jeep.
Yes, the Willis Jeep.
Isn't it?
They go for a fortune now, by the way. Just saying.
What, a little Willie?
A little Willie goes a long way.
Yeah. Fucking lucky for you, isn't it?
Lucky one!
Lucky one. Yeah, so, and we're back in the room. So,
what else happened?
Well, November the 9th, which is today.
Today, yeah.
John F. Kennedy became US president.
Mm-hmm.
Neville Chamberlain passed away in 1940.
And I'm crap on my prime ministers. Did Churchill take over him?
I think so, yeah, 1940, wasn't it? So, yeah. November the 11th. Oh, there's loads of political things here. Things about America. Well, we've just done one, haven't we? So Kennedy takes over the US, but we don't do politics, do we?
Politics
That's,
is
let that
crap.
Let that be somebody else's trump card. Well,
that was all right. That was good. Have you got any jokes this week?
No.
None at all?
I've literally got no jokes this week. I don't know if I've already done this one. I have bought my wife a early Christmas present.
Right.
False leg.
Why?
It's just a stocking filler.
That's good. That's good.
Like that.
I do like that, yeah.
I've got some other jokes, but they'll have to be off.
Yeah.
YouTube, you know, the ban and everything like that. So yeah. Oh, what we've got some exciting.
We've got
coming
some
up,
cool stuff coming up. Yeah.
So
Sorry, I was playing footsie then with you.
That's all right. Do it if you want, soft camera.
Shall I take my
knows.
shoe off or?
No, that's just all getting a bit weird now. What if you did with that up?
Oh, God.
Yeah, the first week in December, we will almost definitely now be at a supercar car show doing a sort of semi-live episode, recorded and then pushed straight out.
Yeah.
We've entered our car.
Your car?
The supercar.
The supercar.
And we shall hopefully be there.
We will be there.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, we're going to be there
Yeah.
actually, aren't we? So we bought some extra rig equipment so we can continue doing the podcast with a lighting rig and a chest-mounted rig and various other things, so we can continue doing this absolute crap that we're doing. I think it's been nice this week.
Yeah, something different.
Come to a close.
Something different.
Tell me very quickly, because I meant to ask you earlier.
Yeah, go on.
Was there big spiders in Iraq?
Yes, there were. There were things. In fact, they're not actually spiders. There were things called camel spiders, but they're in the scorpion family, so I've been told.
Sam?
Yeah, Sam, legend of a bloke. He'll advise us on that. Yeah, there were camel spiders, and sometimes they can be as big as your hand. Jerboas, which are desert rats.
Back to episode 1, because you overestimate size, don't you?
Yeah, so no, they really are big. I had one thrown on me when I was in my sleeping bag. Of course, when you're in your sleep bag, you can't move, but I literally felt the weight of this thing land on my chest, and I managed to flick it off, and it was humongous. So, yeah, so-called mate.
Dark humour.
Did that to me. You get things called jerboas, which are desert rats. They're quite cute. They're like little gerbil things. And snakes as well. So, yeah, in the desert, you do get some funky creatures out there.
Do you want to do some shout-outs with some names?
I do.
Before we go.
So, apologies in advance if I've missed anybody out. I'm sorry if I have, but...
It's easily done, isn't it?
It is easily done. The following people are close to my heart, and they served, and I would like to personally say thank you to them for serving, and thank you for being my friends. So to start out with, we've got Chris. You know who you are. We knew each other from around about the age of 3 or 4.
60 years ago.
60
never,
plus years ago.
Never going to stop.
Louis, legend, absolute legend. Danny, another legend. Jamie, you know who you are.
Connor, I know who Jamie is, don't I?
You do.
And Connor. Legends.
Both legends. Patch, don't really keep in contact with you anymore, sadly. but I'll try and, you know, get in touch with you at some point. Cookie, Baz, Andy, Adam, Jay, Phil, Mal, and Ricky. So from me and Ian to you guys, thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for being a mate.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right, let's so the one thing I was going to say, I've got to say, our attire today is very casual, and you may not think that
Smart
appropriate.
casual.
Yeah, but it's not, is it?
Well, you're not.
It's not. May not be appropriate for 2 minute silence. Whenever we're in the shed today, it's
Yeah.
Saturday. Tomorrow we will do some shorts after the cenotaph.
Yeah.
We will be adorned correctly.
Absolutely,
This is not
yeah.
disrespectful. It's just the shed episode, and we wanted to do a little bit extra
Yeah.
as well. So we'll knock it on the head now. We'll do some shorts, and we'll
See you tomorrow.
see you tomorrow because we're going to be
Live? Or
we might do a bit live.
We might do a bit.
Depends how many beers we've had.
Stand by if we've had some beers.
Stand by, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening. We
Keep
are
talking
back.
to each other.
Yeah, keep talking.
helping each other.
Ring those numbers if you need to.
Yeah.
No worries whatsoever. Oh, and Nathan left a comment on our Facebook page. Said that our last episode wasn't sexy enough, not enough cleavage.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
maybe we'll sort that out for you in a special episode.
Christmas special.
Christmas special, just for
A
Nathan.
sexy Christmas
Sexy
special.
Christmas special with lots of cleavage. See, we're back to absolute crap and nonsense.
But it
again,
doesn't
aren't we?
matter.
It doesn't matter. That's us, isn't
Who
it?
gives a shit?
That's
I
it.
don't.
Right. Stop swearing. Cheers, mate. Right.
Take care, everybody.
Next Saturday at roughly 4 or 5
Same-
o'clock
same
again. We'll
time,
be
yeah.
punching another one out. And please press like, subscribe, and share. Because if you don't, we'll fold.
Yeah.
And we need your help. This is your YouTube channel. We just happen to do.
Yeah, we want to build it. Let's keep this going.
Please
it's
like,
going really
share,
well.
subscribe, tell your mates.
Yeah.
Just how absolutely awful we are.
We are, but we love it and we're proud of it.
See you later.
See you guys.